Indeed, how I love that beautiful sound of Beacon, composed especially for the Boulder Star by our very own musical professor at CU, Jeff Nitsch. And with that, I bid everyone good evening. My name is John Terr, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber. And I welcome all of you who are standing here on the beautiful terrace here at the Museum of Boulder, and those who are watching from home in the comfort of their home, I might add, watching on simulcast for this, the 78th anniversary of the Boulder Star lighting. Yes, that's 78 years of stewardship of this community asset, brought to you first by the Boulder business leaders and the Boulder Chamber. We are now fortunate to have a partnership in our upkeep of the Boulder Star with our City of Boulder colleagues. And they are represented here by our Mayor, Aaron Brockett, who you'll hear from in a bit. And I also acknowledge that we have in our audience City Manager Nuria Rivera Vandermeide. We have the Director of the Open Space Department, Dan Burke. And we have Deputy Director Jeff Nitsch, all of them great partners in the upkeep of the Boulder Star. Of course, this is a partnership between the business community and the City of Boulder that is as old as the founding of Boulder back in 1858. It was gold, after all, the business of gold that brought people here. It is a partnership that we celebrate on this, the 120th anniversary of the Boulder Chamber founding, and our role in supporting business success and helping to shape the economy of this community. And it's a partnership that is symbolized now by the Boulder Star lighting ceremony, which, like so many things we do in this community, would not happen without a great partnership between the business community, our City of Boulder, and our residents. So speaking of partners, I also want to acknowledge that events like this, ceremonies like this, would not happen without the sponsorship support of businesses in our community. And in this case, I want to thank the presenting sponsor for the Boulder Star lighting ceremony, WK Real Estate. Thank you. And finally, I recognize the partnership we share in the lighting of the Boulder Star with our representatives of the armed services. Yes, tonight is a tribute celebration of the kickoff of the holiday season. But at the same time, we choose to celebrate the lighting of the Boulder Star every year on Veterans Day. It is their work, it is their sacrifice, and it is their determination to fight for our freedoms that we celebrate and honor today. And I couldn't be more proud to honor the partnership we have with our local veterans in the lighting of the Boulder Star by paying tribute to those veterans. And so it is a great honor for me to welcome to the stage a personal hero, a veteran of the Marine Corps himself, and president of the CU Veterans Alumni Association, Rex Laceby. Whoa!
No one saw that, John. All right. So must go on. Good job, little buddy. So as John mentioned, what I consider our most honored tradition, and that is lighting the Boulder Star and then having representatives from our 3 Reserve Officer Training Corps Battalion students from CU Boulder here. And we also sing the national anthem. And so I'm so excited that we've got this wonderful crowd and we get to watch the presentation of the colors. This year's color guard is led by U.S. Army Cadet Jonathan Eafley, color guard OIC, and he is from the Army ROTC Battalion here at CU Boulder. These young men and women joining us tonight They stand a testament to America's future and have selflessly offered and provided a blanket of freedom with their lives for us today. These young men will leave the University of Colorado as second lieutenants and go to the fleet, and there they'll be our, that thin blue line between us and tyranny and chaos, and we're so happy to have them here on Veterans Day. Joining us in the audience in recognition of also their service are the three commanders from our ROTC battalion. We have Air Force Colonel B.B. Lang. She's the professor of military science and the commanding officer at Det 105. We have Marine Corps Colonel Matt Zumo and his kids that do not share their cookies. Matt Zumo is a professor of naval science at the University of Colorado Naval ROTC and commands the Navy and Marine Detachment. And then new to our family is Matthew Chase, Major, and he is commanding of military science professor and commanding officer of the Army ROTC Battalion. Our last special guest I wanted to recognize, also new, is a Navy veteran, Mike Brannon, chief in the Navy, now a student, and he's currently the student president of the Student Veterans Association. So that link between active duty, our students, and them representing that blanket of freedom. Thank you guys for joining us. The lighting of the Boulder Star on Veterans Day is a shining example of Boulder's appreciation of veterans. About 13.5% of the population of Boulder are veterans. But when we light this star, and me and John have been back and forth on the dates, this is the 10th year that we've lit the Boulder Star on Veterans Day. And so it doesn't just bring in the holiday season. It's not just a symbol of solidarity during trying times like the Marshall Fire and the King Super shooting, but it's an example of how much Boulder cares about its veterans and active duty military. Singing our national anthem tonight, it's a pleasure for us to have Colorado native mezzo-soprano Jane Burkhart Wright. She received her bachelor's from Colorado State University in vocal performance. She has sung professionally with the Anima Chamber Ensemble and the Colorado Bach Assembly. She currently sings with the Cantorai in Denver and the Cantabile right here in Boulder. Welcome, Jane.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the
Jane, that was so beautiful. Thank you. So before I introduce the next guest, a little public service announcement. We know that the area up on open space where the Boulder Star resides is a protected area. And we want to make sure that we're not disturbing the wildlife, we're not eroding the plants and vegetation. So we please ask you to please enjoy the Boulder Star from afar. And with that, I welcome our City of Boulder Mayor, a great partner and friend, Aaron Brockett.
Thanks so much for that, John. So wonderful to be here with you all tonight. Happy Veterans Day. And John, thanks for having me and thanks for coming out. I know you recently had some surgery, so you cannot keep this man down. So impressive. Was anyone here for this lighting last year? Do you remember how cold it was? Like absolutely freezing. And we have this lovely, mild evening tonight, perfect for celebrating the lighting of the star and Veterans Day. So I want to give a few thank yous. First of all, I'd like to start with the Museum of Boulder. Thank you for hosting us. If we can have applause for the Museum of Boulder. Next, I'd like to thank the Chamber for doing this yet again, the 78th year, if I remember that correctly. Huge thanks for the partnership. And the partnership with, also, I want to thank all the hardworking people at the City of Boulder for the extraordinary work you do to make our city run today and each and every day. So thank you to them. And I'd also like to acknowledge a couple of elected officials. One who's not here, Joe Neguse always speaks at this event, and he's incredibly inspiring, an incredibly hard person to follow, I'll just say. But he's on a plane tonight, I understand, to go back because the U.S. Congress has been called back into session. So I want to thank him for his service, and let's give him a round of applause. And we're also joined here tonight by County Commissioner Claire Levy. So if we could acknowledge her as well, please. She's over there in the back. There we go. But of course, the biggest thank you today is for our extraordinary veterans and all that they have done to serve our country. So the big round of applause, please, for our veterans and for their service. And when I thank our veterans, it always makes me think of the veterans in my own family. So my father-in-law, Don, served 20 years in the Air Force. And my Uncle Ken was an Army medic in Vietnam. But the people who made the very biggest impression on me were my grandfathers, both of whom served in the Pacific Theater in World War II. My grandfather, Guy, was on an LST on the landing boats at Leyte and other battles. And my grandfather, Ed, was on the cruiser Cleveland, fighting in any number of major battles. And the examples that they gave to me have inspired me throughout my own life. I think back to being a small boy, sitting on their laps and hearing the stories of their service and how terrified they were, but how they knew what they needed to do to serve their country and eventually to victory. So I'm just so grateful for their example and what they've done to help me become a better person in my own life. So I would ask you to take this moment to think of a veteran or a service member in your own family and think about the debt that you owe them. And with that, I think we're almost to the lighting of the star. And what I love about this star is such a beacon of hope as we get to our colder, darker months. If you're having a tough day, if it's especially cold, if you've had some trouble that you're trying to deal with, you can always look up at the star and be inspired and recharged for the days to come. So thanks so much, everyone. Wonderful to be here with you, and let's get that star lit.
Okay, we are almost at the star lighting, and Ty here, who's lit the star for so many years, is getting energized just like me. So, but I do want to just a couple of other public service announcements. So first of all, one of the special things that we do every year to help fund and support the upkeep of the Boulder Star is produce an annual Boulder Star card. You'll see this online. So when you hear my voice, hopefully there's a Boulder Star card right in front of it. But the artwork this year was produced by Daniel Schroeder Craft. Just a beautiful piece. And you can get these Boulder Star cards at Art Stores International, at the Chautauqua General Store, at Lucky's North and McGuckin Hardware. And you can also get them online through the Boulder Chamber. Just go to our website and you can pick them up on Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're available now. And then also, we've expanded our repertoire, our merchandise for the Boulder Star. You can now get Boulder Star wine, which is produced. It's a special blend by Bookcliff Vineyards featuring the art of the Boulder Star card. And you can get that in their tasting room. That's Bookcliff Vineyards. They have a tasting room in North Boulder. And then finally, an exciting new development in the merchandise area, and that is our relationship with Liberty Puzzle. They are now producing a puzzle with the Boulder Star card art. So urge you to pick one up now. They're just that beautiful. And so with that, we get ready to light the Boulder Star. So I'm going to ask, first of all, if Addy can please make his way up to the stage. Addy was with us last year and apparently was quite anxious to light the Boulder Star. And then if we can have Ty, if you can please stand there by the Boulder Star, lighting gizmo, we call that, the lighting switch gizmo. And then I'm gonna ask all the other kids in the audience, if you can please come on up and help us light the Boulder Star. All right, if you can step back over here, step over here. You guys look out at the audience, give a look out at the audience, all right? All right, we're gonna give a countdown. Ty, will you start the countdown? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Yay! Addy, way to go. Whoa! It's the wink, brought to you by the star man, Craig Reynolds, who for 26 years maintained the Boulder Star on behalf of the Boulder Chamber. So Craig Reynolds, thank you so much, my friend. Yeah. So we will all enjoy the Boulder Star from now through into the new year. But I just want to make sure and remind you to enjoy the star from afar. That's right. Thank you all. And then I want to just make sure to thank everybody for being here. The television audience, all of you here on the terrace at this beautiful Museum of Boulder. I also urge you to check out the 120th year anniversary exhibit of the Boulder Chamber at the Boulder Museum of Boulder. And then I want to make sure to thank my friend. Whoa, there's a loud noise. Oh, somebody's car is getting stolen right in the middle of the ceremony here. But I will say that, first of all, I want to make sure to thank my friend Rex Laceby for his work with the CU alumni veterans. Give it up for that beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner by Jane Burkhart Wright. Thank you. Got to remember those sponsors. They make events like this happen. Thank you, our partners and friends at WK Real Estate. Yeah. And then I just want to make sure to acknowledge that this is the kickoff of the holiday season. And when we have challenging times and in good times, the holiday season is a time for us all to come together, post-election, think about what we can accomplish together, and spread the goodwill of the holiday season as we also recognize our veterans. So thank you all for being here. And with that, we're going to ask for the color guard to please retire the colors. Yay. Thank you for being here, everybody. Happy holidays.
Thank you for joining us. You're welcome to go to the second floor for a reception. Again, thank you and happy holidays.